Amandla. 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 Viva, beautiful residents of Laudium, viva. Viva, beautiful residents of Claudius, viva. Viva, beautiful residents of Erasmia, viva. Viva, Ward 61, viva. Hule, EFF Laudium, hule. Hule, EFF Laudium, hule. Long live EFF in Laudium, long live. Long live President and Commander-in-Chief, long live. Long live President and Commander-in-Chief, long live. Long live EFF in Laudium, long live. Thank you very much. Let us all get seated. We would like to take this opportunity to greet all the residents, the community members of Laudium, the residents of Claudius, and the residents of Erasmia, who have fully honored this meeting, the Manifesto Town Hall meeting of the EFF that will be addressed by the Commander-in-Chief and the President of the Economic Freedom Fighters and the incoming President of South Africa in less than 40 days to come. We want to take this opportunity to thank all of you and greet the President and the Commander-in-Chief, the Central Command team members, Comrade and Fighter Julius, the Regional Chairperson, and the Branch Command team of the EFF in Ward 61. You are all officially welcomed to the Town Hall Manifesto meeting of the EFF here in Laudium today at the Civic Center that will be addressed by the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the EFF. Without any waste of time, we are going to officially welcome the Central Command Team member and the MMC of Public and Safety in Johannesburg region, member and Commissar Mtini to officially take us through with the program. Amandla.
Amandla. Amandla. No, thank you very much, Deputy Chair of the Province. Let me greet the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the EFF that is here today. Also, let me greet the Chairperson of Tshwane that is here. Also, our cluster head, Ramonde. And most importantly, let me greet the residents of Laudium that are here and all the other areas around on this area here. You are all welcome in this town hall manifesto meeting, which is happening everywhere, where we have to come to, to areas. And we were in Yesteras, we went to Eldos, we went to Lenasia. Now we are here at the Laudium, so that we can, the Commander-in-Chief can take you through the manifesto of the EFF, because many people have this perception that the EFF is not for the Indians, which is not true. So we wanted to really come through and have this intimate chat and relationship, and also explanation in terms of the manifesto of the EFF. My name is Mtini Chwaku, and I'm the MMC for Public Safety deployed by the Economic Freedom Fighters. So without wasting any time, I'm going to call upon to the Commander-in-Chief to take us through the manifesto of the EFF. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, MMC. Oh yeah, we're back. Thank you very much, MMC of Public Safety, Mgeni Chwagu, and the Deputy Chairperson of the Province, and the leadership of the branch, Chairperson of the region. Dr. Ndlozi will be joining us soon. he went to do certain engagements and then later will join us. We are moving around the country, interacting with our people and explaining to them how the EFF government will work when we take over power on the 29th of May. This is necessitated by the fact that 24.6 million people are available for work. That is a workforce for South Africa. But only 16.8 million are employed. And what is more disheartening is that of all these people who are employed, those who are employed to give us water, electricity, and gas of 16.8 million, we only have 123,000 employees in electricity, gas, and water. But we've got a problem of water and electricity. And if you create water infrastructure development, you are likely to create a lot of jobs in that sector for your people. Because a country that is not engaged or turned into a construction site, that country will never give jobs. When your infrastructure develops and becomes better, and the supply of water and electricity is reliable, then we are guaranteed that there will be investment. And when there is investment, the economy grows and people start working. But the story that when people are not working is because Zimbabweans have taken jobs from those people, or foreigners have taken jobs from those people. It's not true. What you need to ask is the economy growing? Once the answer is no, you must know there won't be jobs. Because only a growing economy can create jobs. So the economy of South Africa is stagnant and is not growing, and the leadership of our government seems not to know what to do with this crisis of creating employment for our people. Our people have got no electricity. Today, for sure, is the 25th, or if not 26th day with electricity. And people are made to celebrate that we've been having electricity for the past 26 days. And some create an impression that load shedding is gone. Load shedding is not gone, and even government never said load shedding is gone. Government said load shedding will be suspended. And you can see what they are doing. They are suspending load shedding for the purpose of elections. After elections, they are going to go back to load shedding. And because they want to make us believe that they are solving a problem which they've created. Load shedding is man-made. That's why during World Cup, Rugby World Cup, there was electricity. How did electricity know that there was Rugby World Cup? And then after Rugby World Cup, the electricity disappeared. And did not just disappear, it went to stage 6. And that's what we are going to experience on the 29th of May. After voting, when counting starts, they are going to switch off electricity. And not just switch it off, they are going to take us to stage 6. Because they are using whatever reserves is there to keep the lights on. By the time we arrive on the 29th of May, they will have to take us back to stage 6 because they will no longer having any reserves. And therefore they have to close the electricity and generate enough for them to can now give us electricity maybe at stage 1, 2, or 3. So the electricity crisis created by the ANC government because they want to outsource the generation of electricity. That a generation of electricity must be now in the hands of individuals. You cannot put electricity as a strategic sector in the economy in the hands of an individual. Because individuals are guided by feelings. So they create load shedding and then say to you, you must go to green energy. You must get energy from all types of people. And then they give themselves individually licenses. Then you must make this electricity to show that Eskom is failing. Make sure that Eskom is failing so that when we say we are privatizing generation of electricity, everybody will be so happy because they will say, but Eskom has not been working. So the strategy is make it dysfunctional and frustrate people. Once people are frustrated and you say this is the solution, they all go to that solution because they want electricity. But in reality, they are the ones who created that crisis. So they've never built a single reliable power station. Kusile and Medupi are still not being utilized optimally because they are milking that money with Chancellor House of the ANC. You wake up one morning, one unit of Medupi has collapsed, and the issue of collapse, literal collapse of an infrastructure which has got no 30 years. Already they say this infrastructure has to be done again because it was not properly done. So there shouldn't be any construction happening at Medupi. It was supposed to be done by now, but it can't be done because that's our milking cow as the ANC. That's where we make our money. They go and shut down a coal power station because the bosses of the world have said, do not use coal because you are polluting. We buy into that nonsensical story, and then after they said we are polluting, they come themselves and say, bring that coal to us. Don't use coal, it's wrong. But the trucks are moving every day on the N1 to Richards Bay, sending coal to Germany, to UK, to China, to all the big economies that said don't use coal. And then we destroy our own coal power stations without having an alternative of reliable supply. If you say I must shut down a 1,000 megawatt coal power station, you must be giving me from green energy sources 1,000 megawatt. If you can't give me 1,000 megawatt, I will never destroy this coal power station until I've got an alternative source of energy. We must never allow the shutting down of our coal power stations because they are our base. We move from there. So you have to move from somewhere in order for you to have a reliable electricity. So we are not going to destroy coal power stations. We are going to use them, maintain them, and ensure that their maintenance is done regularly by qualified engineers. But as an immediate thing that we need to do as government, We must ask all of you, the people of Laudium, that you must surrender your electricity geysers in exchange for gas geysers. And we will come and remove the electricity geyser and install the gas geyser, because heating is one of the biggest consumers of electricity. So we heat a lot and use a lot of electricity. Then, the same as cooking. We use electric stoves to cook. Why can't we use gas stoves to cook? Because the food will still taste the same. The food, if there is a person who cooks proper food, whether it's gas or electricity, the outcome will always be the same. So why is government not encouraging you voluntarily, not by force? Can you please surrender your electric stoves in exchange for a gas stove? We'll come and install it ourselves. By doing that, you save electricity, but you also create jobs at the same time. Because the people who are coming to install these geysers and stoves are unemployed young people of South Africa who can get immediate jobs from that. So we need an organization that has got those practical, immediate solutions to resolve the problem we're confronted with in South Africa. There's also a problem of water. Who would have thought one day we can wake up in Laudium and there's no water? But the villagers, we grew up like that, we always knew there's no water. But now it has come to the big cities, which means ourselves who never had water, we will never have if the big cities don't have water. And you are not having water, it's not because God hasn't favored us with water. We are favored. The problem is that the infrastructure is too old. It's not maintained. Water reticulation plants are not maintained. They're dysfunctional. The pipes that give you water, piped water into your houses, is asbestos pipes, which many of them are old and causing leaks. Why can't we shut water in Laudium? When they ask us, we say we are replacing the pipes, taking out the asbestos pipe and bringing in proper pipes which will not allow any drop to leak from those pipes. Then you know there is a reliable supply of piped water into our houses. So it's important that all of this gets to be fixed. A bridge in Tshwane, if there is any bridge in Tshwane, you must know was not built in the last 30 years. It was built by the old government. They don't know the lifespan of that bridge. They wait for the day where one white person says, but this bridge we are driving on is shaking. They can't read and make sense before they see it fiscal. You say, the lifespan of this thing is finished. What are you talking about, man? The bridge is standing. Then you have to call them and say, stand here. You will see when the cars move, this thing is going to be shaking. And it's shaking. Only then they become convinced, oh, this thing is going to collapse. How can you have leaders who don't comprehend a simple mathematics of engineering? That this was completed this year, the lifespan is this much, it has reached its lifespan. Therefore, we don't have to remove it. We have to now start reinforcing it with the new development and technology which will make this thing to stand. It took forever. I don't know what they were waiting for. In Johannesburg, one of the bridges was collapsing and literally shaking. Only then did the ANC go and fix that bridge. So we can't work like that. We can't work with government that has got no plan. Because when you have a plan, you look at what exists. You cannot build new infrastructure without maintaining the old infrastructure. So we have to maintain the old infrastructure. There is a problem of crime in Laudium and everywhere else because criminals have taken over the streets. Young women can't go to library on their own. Young women can't go and study as a group because someone is standing there by the corner waiting to attack them. So we need to fight crime. And criminals don't hear. They don't use the ear to hear. They use the skin to hear. So we cannot allow criminals to terrorize law enforcement. Because if police are not protected, they can't protect us. So we need to allow the police to deal decisively with anyone who takes out a gun and point that gun at a law enforcement officer. Once you point a gun at a law enforcement officer, you must know that you have made yourself an appointment with your maker. That's what you have asked for, and that's what is going to happen. So, we have reached a point where we need to respond fire with fire. Because these people of cash in transit haste, the housebreakers, the kidnappers, they're extremely violent. And they will never hear you if you don't use the language they understand. If you look at the murder rate in South Africa, we have not even come anywhere close to Ukraine where there is war. Murder rate is like we are in a war. If stats gets released, you'll say, oh, it means there is a war going on, like in Sudan. Can't you know there is no war? The criminals have declared war on people who have nothing to do with them. Today, the law-abiding citizens are scared, and those who don't abide by the law are not scared. Those who abide by the law have built high walls in fear of criminals. The criminals have got not even a fence because they are not scared, they are in charge. It has to be the other way around. Those who are not law-abiding must be very scared and live in fear, knowing that if police get us, we're in trouble. And those who abide by their law, they must demolish the high walls and appreciate the beauty of their gardens. Because that's what we want you to do. There's no need for a person, a business person, Indian business person, to be guarded by so many bodyguards, because his life is under threat. There's a syndicate that looks like it's just targeting Indians, especially Indian people who are in business. Kidnap them and start demanding ransom of 10 million, 15 million. Where are these people going to get this money? So we need to make it very clear that if you kidnap a person and we are coming to fetch that person and we know where that person is, you must know that you are in danger, because we can't allow that. Those who rape women, we must catch them, send them to jail. Immediately once they are sent to jail, we must have a public database of those people who went to jail for rape, so that they know rape. If you rape someone, you are creating a generational curse for your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, because the name of their grandfather will always appear on the internet as a rapist. Because people rape, after raping they get released from jail, then they go and become teachers of primary schools and they teach kids, young girls. A rapist is teaching young girls because no one knows. They get released from here, Hoshimampuru, then they leave to Northern Cape. When they arrive there, no one knows them. Then they are given a job to become a teacher of young girls. And he doesn't see them as young girls because he's a pervert. He sees them as sex objects that can be used. But once you put these names on a database, be rest assured, everyone who says Julius Malema, you just go and punch the name Julius Malema, it pops out, rapist. And then that's it. You can't get employment because when you rape, you are committing murder. You must ask the survivors of rape. They tell you that after he raped me, something inside me died. And I will never recover from that. So, rape is an equivalent of murder and must be punished. The same as GBV. Where does a man get the knowledge, the power, and all of that to beat up defenseless people? Even if a woman hits you with a clap, when you turn and ask her, what are you doing? She's already shrinking in fear. She becomes small. So why do you beat her up after you saw that she herself realized she made a terrible mistake? No, what do you do? When she goes like that, you kick her when she's down. Only cowards will do that. Because when you get beaten all the time at work by your white bosses, you never say anything. But at home, you are Somandla. You can hit the way you want. Just here by the firm, you get beaten. And you get called boy by a young white person. And you can't say anything. And want to come and show us the power that you don't have. We should not do that. We must be a peaceful society. We must deploy police visibility. I mean, I came from Hyde Park and I reached this Laudium this morning. I've not seen a single police van. Not one. Even on the freeway. I don't know which year is that, Yusuf, where we had police 1 year at every off-ramp and on-ramp, and we had police roaming around. I remember that year, we went to finish festive season without any cash in transit and robbery in the shopping malls, because we were having police everywhere. In America, they don't have this problem we have. In the UK, they don't have this problem we have. But you will never turn a street without seeing a policeman. Why are we not having cameras in this day and age? On each and every street. Because when you steal a cell phone in Tswane, the camera should be looking at you. When you turn this way, there is a camera looking at you. When you turn that way, there is a camera looking at you. And then we are able to call the radio. Church Street. It's a Church Street. By the time you turn to Church Street, they are there, waiting for you. Yes, where's the cell phone, Baba? Because we are even lazy to just sit down and look at cameras. Because now we are lazy to go to the streets and chase them on the streets. Why can't we put them on the cameras? These are our streets. We have to have an eye on each and every street, even in Itirele, where they say it's an informal settlement. There must be an eye. My water. So, in the suburbs, like Hyde Park, in Sandton, Sandhurst, and all of the things, those people have got cameras. They've got cameras. An insurance guy came to my house to come and insure the furniture and all of that in my house. And then when he writes a report, he says, low risk. I'm like, low risk? Then he goes to do the same at my grandmother's house in the township. It says high risk. And I sat down and I said, but this guy is right. Here in my township, you can steal a TV and walk around with it at night, carrying it like this. There is no person who can buy a TV and carry it like that. Once you see a person carrying a TV without a box, already you must know there's a problem here. Yeah, there's a problem here. But in the suburbs, there's no one who can move around carrying a TV or just moving around alone. Those security guards there are going to stop you and ask you why. What are you doing? No, I'm going to this and that. Okay, let's accompany you. Where are you going? We'll take you there. Because police visibility is what will, in the immediate, stop crime. So we will hire men and women and add not less than 100,000 boots on the streets to fight this criminal, because it's a war. And war must be fought, and we must win, because we are fighting this war in protection of our people. I have no time for criminals. I don't want to even entertain mind of a criminal, because these people are a danger to society. We cannot have drugs easily available. People buying drugs the same way they buy bread and cold drink. And then that place gets to be known for selling drugs. Everybody says, no, here they sell drugs. Police don't do anything, because they are working with those people of the drugs. They actually transport the drugs. Because once this house becomes a house of interest, crime intelligence must send someone to go and buy. And worse, not someone new. We have to send the regular customer who buys there. Crime intelligence must get that customer and workshop that customer and show them the need to expose this place. But we have to also give them money. We can't have agents that are not given money. You expose dangerous crime. Dangerous crime. Where an Indian man is kidnapped and they want 50 million. You find that spot, you expose that spot and say, it's here. They go successfully to arrest those people and rescue the Indian man without paying 50 million. Then they give you 500 rand as an agent. Why would I expose people who are going to make 50 million for 500 rand? We must be able to pay our informers. Every street must have an informer who is on a payroll of the state, because the state must have an eye and ears on the ground. And whether drugs are sold by Nigerians or not Nigerians, we're not interested in nationality. We're interested in stopping crime. Whether it's committed by Nigerian or South African, it's a crime. Don't say no. Nigerians have come here and they've taken our business of drugs. We're not in the business of drugs. We're not in the business of drugs. So, we have a responsibility as South African citizens to take a stand and fight, because it's important that when we fight together, we can defeat all of this. Why is education given to children who have money only? Because education is a right. And education is not only that thing they're teaching us at school. So when you get born, you immediately inherit that right of being educated. And our parents are the ones who laid that basis. They first teach you how to speak, how to walk, how to do certain things on your own. They don't get paid for doing that. They teach you. Your parents teach you. They don't get paid for that. Then you get sent to parents at school to further your education. Those ones must be paid. Education must be paid. Education is not a commodity. It's a right enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. President Mandela, with all his effort that he took to liberate us to be where we are, they made a mistake in 1994 of giving us RDP houses. They were supposed to give us free quality education. We're going to build our own houses. Because when you are educated, check the stats amongst unemployed graduates is very low. Why? Employment and graduates go together. And those who graduate and can't find job and can't give them jobs, we have to give them graduate grant, because going to school must pay. How do I go to school for so many years? I come back home with a degree, with honors, and then I'm given 350. The same amount of money with my brother who hasn't gone to school. I'm not asking for anything they are not doing. They are doing it now. They are giving you money through 350. But it's wrong to give the graduate the same amount of money with a person who hasn't gone to school. To go, because if you don't compensate for going to school either through job or through money, those who are coming after these ones will not go to school. They are going to say, why must I go to school? Because you went to school, you've got a degree. But my uncle here has got no matric, but you are both getting 350. So whether you go to school or you don't go to school, the amount is the same. So rather not go to school and get the same amount of money. So that way we are encouraging people to go to school. That way we make education fashionable. And then we stop this thing called NSFAS. Because NSFAS that pays for the children who are poor, it's a money-making scheme for Blade Nzimande and the Communist Party. They steal money of NSFAS. Comrades, each, when he pays school for his children at Medunsa, he doesn't pay NSFAS to pay Medunsa. He pays Medunsa directly. So why is government paying NSFAS to pay Medunsa? Why is government not paying directly into Medunsa without NSFAS, because we know how many children are there. University is a state-owned institution. It's ours. Like Department of Health. When a budget is passed and allocated to the Department of Health, they don't give some agent to go and give the Department of Health. They take money from Treasury straight into the Department of Health. So why are they not treating these universities as part of their department? Take money directly from the Treasury and send it to the university. These are our universities. And in this university, I'm paying for 10 children. And each child cost me 100 rand. Then I know I have to give that university 1,000 because I've got 10 kids. The government has to know how many kids it wants to pay for in that university and pay directly, because NSFAS is corrupt. It's corrupt to the core, and they removed the service provider and then brought him back through the back door in a different name. But the aim is to steal. Now they realize this new service provider is exposed. They say, no, we are putting NSFAS under administration. Because now, once they say they put it under administration, Blade can appoint his men and put him there and say he's an administrator for the purpose of stealing money for this election. When we collapsed the ANC in 2016 and gave this power to DA, it was not because there was anything ideological between us and DA. It was because we were convinced that the ANC without resources is a weak ANC. Because they no longer have anything to say. They no longer have anyone to put as a face. That's why they compromise for a compromised person as a president. The only thing that makes them succeed is because they control the public purse. So we said, take the keys from the Tshwane safe, from the ANC, you will see what's going to happen. We are left with 39 days to elections. There are no ANC posters in Laudium. Why? Where they are used to stealing money and financing their campaign, we've locked it. The key is no longer with the ANC. Pella, they will be harassing us with t-shirts now. When you try to speak, here's the t-shirt, keep quiet. When you try to speak, go, food parcel. They can't do that now because in all the metros, they are not in control of the purse. And that's why they are so humbled today. We need to take the purse of South Africa from them and put it under Floyd Shivambu. When I say we must put Floyd Shivambu, Minister of Finance, they say, no, you want to steal the money. And I say, no, but we are ministers of finance in Ekurhuleni municipality. We never stole a cent. It's now more than a year controlling the finances of Ekurhuleni. He's an MMC of public safety responsible for Metro Police in Johannesburg. He has never been accused of stealing a cent. No single MMC of the EFF has ever been accused of stealing a cent. Because in the EFF, we believe very strongly that every little cent, if properly used, can have an impact. We need to maximize on the little resources we have. There's no one in the ANC now who's got the brain of Floyd Shivambu when it comes to economy of South Africa, the continent and the world, and the finances of South Africa. I mean, put Ino Godongwana here, the current Minister of Finance, and put Floyd Shivambu here. Let's see what's going to happen. They say Floyd can't be a minister of finance because he stole money from VBS. If that was true, why is Floyd not arrested? Because we are not members of the ANC. We are not powerful people. We are just mere opposition with 44 members of parliament. Why would we steal and the ANC doesn't deal with us decisively? Because we are the only organization that gives the ANC a hard time. Everyone else is playful. These are the people who are troubling you. These are the people that are likely to remove you from power. These are the people who are contesting your constituency. Boom, information comes and they say they stole. When you look at that information, you're like, yes, we've been looking for them. And then you don't arrest them. What do? You just go around lying to people that no, they stole VBS money. We never received an SMS or WhatsApp message or a letter or a telephone call from any single policeman on VBS. Yet people are standing trial. There is a white man who was a CFO who's now serving jail term, who turned a state witness. And when he was turning a state witness on VBS, he has never mentioned Malema or Shivambu. No one has ever mentioned Malema and Shivambu. What they did, they went into their corners and concocted this dark cloud because they can't falter us politically. They create some imagination and then spread it across. So they know that Floyd Shivambu is going to be a friendly force to SMMEs. They know Floyd Shivambu is going to be a person who's going to put heavy taxes on those who engage in illicit financial flows and tax avoidance. Because we need every cent through revenue if we are to achieve these objectives. But people are engaged in illicit financial flows, and government knows that and is doing nothing about it. Why should an SMME pay the same amount of percentage when it comes to taxes, the same amount of percentage when it comes to taxes compared to the big company? This is a small company that is still trying to emerge. Why can't there be tax incentives for these small companies that are emerging? And then when they cross the Rubicon to the other side, then we can start charging them normal corporate tax. Why can't we charge the rich the wealth tax? Wealth tax, because there must be a way for you to share with the poor. Because if you don't do that, one day the people of Itireling are going to come here at Laudium in a revolt manner, and there's nothing we can do about it. They are suffering and poverty. One day is going to push them to engage in anarchy, the highest form of disorder. What happened at July unrest during the arrest of President Zuma will be a Mickey Mouse when that day comes. We need to stop that day by empowering the poor of the poor. You know, in South Africa, there are so many people who live in poverty. And not just poverty, extreme poverty. In South Africa, we've got 18.2 million who live in extreme poverty. You know what extreme poverty means? This person will not spend 42 rand per day. There are people who go the whole day having spent 42 rand because they don't have it. And that is 18.2 million South Africans who live in extreme poverty. 18.8 million receive grants. 18.8 million, which means 31% of the South African population receive grants. And those who receive grants live in extreme poverty. We cannot be a normal society. And those who come after them, shame, those who are a little bit better compared to those who live in extreme poverty, none of them spends more than 70 rand per day. Those who live better than the ones who live in extreme poverty can spend 70 rand per day. So, which means that 62.7% of our people, those in extreme poverty and those who are a little bit better, constitute 62.7% of the South African population. Those who can spend less than 70 rand per day constitute 62.7% in South Africa. So we are, in the whole world, we are the most unequal society in the whole world. And this is not sustainable, because when the poor rise, they will have nothing to lose, because they are suffering, they are in pain. So we want the community of Laudium to take the community of Atteridgeville, of Itireling, and everywhere else, identify young people with potential in those communities. Don't employ them to be shopkeepers. Train them to be reasonable, sound businessmen and women, so that they can be like you. Let each family in Laudium adopt one child in one family and teach this child business. Because you are known for business. You are doing well. You are known for being people who are active when it comes to business. You've got skills that you can share with us. Because yourself and us are the same. That's why we were pushed away from town and were put here. And then we were just put across you. Just behind the mountain is us. They just pushed us here, divided us with a mountain. But we are the same. What is the same between Indians and Africans is because we were both oppressed by the same people who pushed us away. And if we are the oppressed nation, we have to stick together and empower one another, because the success of these people is your success. So I'm appealing to the business of Laudium to adopt the children and mentor them, but equally adopt children who have potential and pay for their school fees. Pay for their school fees. But equally, after I explained to you the extreme poverty of South Africa, what stops you to adopt a family in Itireling and monthly give them food parcels worth 2,000 rand? As a family, you say, we've got a family in Atteridgeville that we send food. What is 2,000 rand to you? What is 3,000 rand to you? Monthly. You identify a family and say, this family, from today, they are my family. As long as you have not helped anyone who can't do anything for you, you must know you have not helped anyone. Well, if you say, no, I help, who do you help? I help my cousin, my relatives, uncles. That is not help. That is an obligation. Help is when you see poverty and you say, this family, I'm going to change their face. There will no longer be a face of poverty. We need to get involved, because if we don't get involved, these people are going to rise against us. They will not reach Union Building, the people of Itireling and Atteridgeville. They are going to see the nearest suburb and say the nearest suburb for us is Laudium, let's go. We don't want that. You know, a lot of families produce children who are not educated, and we think these kids are not smart. The kids are swimming in poverty, and you can't think properly when you are swimming in poverty. 2,000 rand, 3,000 rand, 5,000 rand. Identify a family, don't give them money, give them food. See that food producing a child at school who's smarter from a squatter camp, because he's no longer having to think of what am I going to eat. So we need to, all of you, to come and mobilize even those who are not here. That the poverty has reached a level where all of us must now come in. We need to call for peace in the Middle East. You can't say you are Muslim and you support DA. DA that support genocide in Palestine. Any Muslim who votes for the DA, you must know you are an enabler of genocide in Palestine against the Muslims. The people of Palestine are being killed. They want to wipe them off their land right in front of our face, and we are not doing anything. The EFF marched to Israeli embassy. And when we were at Israeli embassy, we said, we are going to check the Woolworths products, we are going to check McDonald's products, we are going to check any shop, give us information that sells food from Israel. I did not arrive at the office after that march. McDonald's already sent me a letter. Oh, no. We are not the same as McDonald's in Israel. Please. We are independent. We don't have those products and all of that. We are watching you. Woolworths said they've got a smaller quantity of products which is going to finish in a week's time from Israel. We said, we don't care in a week's time. It must be removed now. People are being killed now. Remove. We said to the EFF, we said to the EFF Student Command in universities, you must never accept any lecture from Israel to come and be a visiting lecture in our institutions of Ireland. We must never accept any learning material from Israel, because we are engaged in academic boycott of Israel. So, the people of Laudium have a duty to teach others, not even the ANC, support the struggle against Israel, by the way. We marched here, went to Parliament, and said to Parliament, pass a resolution sponsored by the EFF to remove the Israeli embassy. Parliament passed that resolution to remove the Israeli embassy. Today, the ANC hasn't implemented that resolution. They went to International Court of Justice, ICJ. You know, when a person goes to court on such political matters, you must know they are artificial in their approach, because they know the court processes take forever. So they are buying themselves time so that they look like they are doing something. Doing something means remove the Israeli embassy, which is practical, which can be done tomorrow. Ramaphosa came here during Eid 2 weeks ago. He was kneeling there up and down, pretending to be with you. Pretending to be with you. If he really cared about Muslims. Before kneeling here in Laudium, was supposed to go and close the Israeli embassy. Then we would have known this is a genuine person. He's got the power. Parliament has taken a decision, and not with simple majority. A decisive majority said, remove Israeli embassy. Only ACDP of Meshwe, understandably so, because it's funded by apartheid Israel. Freedom Front Plus, because they are known for segregation and invading people's properties. Patriotic Alliance, which is controlled by Jewish money. They have no idea what they are doing. They are not in politics. They are in politics of making money. So the only organization that can take over power and make South Africa stand on the side of the Palestinian people is the EFF. No one else can do that. At least in support of the struggle of the people of Palestine. Even if you want to sell out, there are 3 ballots there. One of those ballots you must dedicate it to Palestine and say, I'm so conflicted because my party is selling out on this, but the EFF, I shall give it at least 1 vote, and that vote is Palestine, because I don't agree with them on land, I don't agree with them on that, but on this one, they shall receive at least 1 vote from me. We really have to pray for peace, because Iran is now preparing to respond to Israel. And once Iran comes in, that Middle East crisis becomes another World War III now. We don't need war. If we are peace-loving South Africans, we don't need war. We need peace, and there cannot be peace in South Africa if there is no peace in Palestine. Thank you very much.
Aman God. Aman God. Aman God. We thank the President and the Commander-in-Chief. We'll request Mons to have the mic that will be moving around. It's now an opportunity to engage on questions that will be responded to or answered by the President and the Commander-in-Chief. With many meetings that are due today, we are only going to take 6 or 7 hands. We are going to start from here, we raise our hands, we are going to nominate you, and you will engage direct with the President and the Commander-in-Chief. That will be the first hand there, Mons. That is the first hand. The second hand here, number 2, you are number 2. Just after number 1, you stand up, the mic will come to you. No, after number 1, number 2, you stand up, the mic will come to you. My sister here, you are number 3. What is number 4? Number 4 here, number 5 there. And then let's see number 6. Number 6 here. Let's also get females. It is important that we mix this thing. Okay, let's start. Let's number 7. Baba, you are the last person. Number 1, let's move. Let's go, number 1.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Ghulam Ibrahim, very active activist in Laudium, especially focusing on crime. I appreciate Julius Malema, the president of the EFF, bringing the crime issue head on. It's a thumbs up for that. We need to do more on crime. Crime is totally out of hand. I'm sure everybody will agree. I have a maid that stays in Iterleng, and she was robbed by a Nyaupe guy for a cell phone. And we made sure we will get that cell phone in Iterleng by the Nyaupe guy. But they stand together, the Nyaupes. There are everywhere in Laudium. How do we get rid of this, guys? Because crime is gone so high in Laudium, it's unreal. Professional, police are doing nothing. They catch, and tomorrow they are out again. That's one issue. That is one issue. The second issue is of Palestine. We have the Jewish Board of Deputies here in South Africa that have a lot to say to the people of South Africa, to the government of South Africa. We need to take a stand, the government of South Africa. The new government of South Africa, which I vote for, is the EFF. I'm voting for the EFF to take over this government. Maybe we can get some change in what the president has said. If he is true in what he has said, we are going forward as one nation to change this country, to make it better for the people. Look at the poverty. Look at the poverty in the townships. Our own people. It's a disgrace. We're not doing anything about it. Right in front of us. Yeah, our Indians, they support Itlang. We give food hampers, blankets. Good work to the Muslim community of Laudium and surrounding areas. I applaud you for it. But more needs to be done by police, government, military, especially the unlicensed firearms that are running around everywhere. You can't have a roadblock on the one side and then on the other side the criminals are running away. Come on, have a roadblock on both sides and combat crime and bring the crime down. Also the drug dealers, the syndicates, the gangsters. Look at the Cape Flats. What about the Cape Flats? Look at how they're killing the people there. Let's do something, man. Thank you very much.
Number two, let's go to number two. Number two, it's here.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Tasawwar Hussain Chaudhary. I welcome Mr. Malema in Laudium, and we are happy to meet you. And unconditionally, we support you. With the election, we would like to have a communication with our community. And if you want to have an office, we are available to run your office for EFF and support you fully. Thanks so much. You already explained everything, what we having a problem in South Africa, in Laudium and all around. So thanks so much for coming and addressing us. We understood you very truly, rightly, and we support you. Thanks so much.
Let's go to number three at the back, behind the fighter, next to the protection service. At the back. Okay, that's fine.
Good day, everyone. My name is Yusuf Ismail, born and bred in Laudium. I just want to make it clear I'm also a member of our opposition party that was newly formed. So I'm going to ask some questions and I'm going to say some truths about South Africa. We know that this is the most contested election in our lifetime. People are confused on who to vote for. It's going to be wild. But let me explain. What Mr. Malema said, I agree. South Africa is a ticking time bomb, guys. I myself had to join in politics. I don't like these things, but I'm saying I can't watch South Africa burn. I'm a very patriotic South African. Right. 300 years we know that South Africa has been under colonialism and apartheid. You can't take 30 years to fix everything. But South Africa has gone backwards, not forwards. And it's because of this uncaring, unpatriotic government. Let me tell you, we sat on 2.3 trillion rand in taxes per annum. But this government chooses to loot. That is why there's high inequality. And that is why people are suffering. Now, we're the ticking time bomb, and the ticking time bomb is this elections. So people need to be really careful on who they vote for. We must vote progressively in these elections. Yes, I have a few questions for the EFF and CIC. I don't know if I must salute you or something. And then there's Honorable Ndozi from Parliament. I watch politics, guys. I've been following politics all my life. I've been an auditor for 11 years, so I watch all of them, don't worry. I can even see Ramabodu from Tswane. Okay, the first one I have is illegal immigration, right? I want to know what's the plans for illegal immigration. I know the EFF subscribes to Pan-Africanism and they want Africa to be united. But let us not be mistaken that there are mafias in this country who are selling drugs to our children, destroying our economy on purpose. There are even, you mentioned kidnapping. I can tell you right now, there's kidnapping syndicates from other countries who are watching us and laughing at us. Please, we have to deal with them decisively. They must come in legally and they must contribute to the economy of South Africa. I want to understand what's EFF's plan on that matter, because honestly, some people are really taking advantage of South Africa. I know it's bad, there's syndicates, and a lot of guns are coming in from over the border, so we have to secure our borders. Otherwise, we might be feeling, yes, we can allow people to come in, but do they have the same nature and caringness towards South Africans? We have to ask ourselves those questions. The other thing I wanted to ask is, I know Mr. Malema also said that Floyd Shivambu must be finance minister, and that will be like if the ANC and EFF correlate, right? My view is ANC can't be trusted in this country. You all agree? Let me explain why. This was my last talk for ANC. In 2020, when our people were dying in hospital, people couldn't even afford food. You know what our comrades in ANC done? They stole billions of rands. And we want to trust the government like that. No. So please, Mr. Malema, do not correlate with ANC. They must sit in a naughty corner for 5 years and think what they've done to this country. Stop them! And then the last one I'm saying is, he mentioned that the food parcels and that are going to come. Please, my brothers and sisters, no party has political muscle and money like ANC. They're not in the billions, guys. They're going to come with food parcels, T-shirts. They will even give you prawns and a 5-star meal. Take it. But vote wisely and scope them out. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Yusuf Abramji. I'm an anti-crime activist, and I want to ask a few questions about crime and policing, Commander-in-Chief. Let me make it very clear, I'm not a member of any political party, for the record. Let me first of all salute you, Commander-in-Chief, for your stand on crime. You are absolutely right when you say it's a war, and these criminals are terrorizing us day in and day out. We were here in this very hall a few weeks ago with a ministerial imbizo from the police. They promised action. The community complained about police corruption, about the drugs, about the kidnappings. They did absolutely nothing up to now. So please, we appeal to you, Commander-in-Chief, on your stage is the MEC for Public Safety in the city of Johannesburg, the good Dr. Mashwaku. And let me say, not because I know him, perhaps, Doctor, you must come to the city of Tshwane and show these corrupt TMP officials how to come and work. I was at your launch in Soweto of the Tactical Response Unit. The TMPD in the city of Tshwane, you'll agree with me, is corrupt. We need to clean them up. Obacheng, you are a councillor in the city of Tshwane. You know that in this area, our service delivery is at its worst. We have potholes, forget load shedding, we have power outages almost every day. Where's Amo? Amo, I want you to say something. She's the chair lady of the Residents Association. And she will tell you, these councillors who are here in our areas west of the city, this is an ANC ward, they do very little to help us, and the plight of the residents is a problem. keep on complaining about service delivery and very little and nothing gets done. For how long are we going to complain? We know that you're not in power in the city of Tshwane. You've got a coalition in Johannesburg, in Ekurhuleni. But Commander-in-Chief, please, we need to use the powers that you have to put pressure on the authorities to better the life of our communities. We've complained, and I'm speaking as a resident of this area, we've complained about Itarileng for years. They keep on neglecting Itarileng. They do absolutely nothing. The mayor of Tshwane hasn't been to our area since he came into power. Why is he scared? The people of White Blocks, and I'm sure I see some of you are here today, but you keep on complaining. What have they done for White Blocks? Nothing. You go to White Blocks, it is a disgrace, 30 years in our democracy for people to live the way you live. Let me end off, ladies and gentlemen. Commander-in-Chief Dr. Ndlozi and I have had a chat about this. 2 years ago, I called the Commander-in-Chief about rogue elements within the EFF going to business, trying to extort money. And I repeat, rogue elements. The Commander-in-Chief immediately took action and he suspended those members. The last few weeks, we've seen rogue criminal elements using EFF t-shirts going to construction sites in Centurion and Pretoria West. They're demanding money, and I'm appealing to you, Dr. Ndlozi and Commander-in-Chief, to please take action against these criminals who are using your party's name. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the fifth person. It's here.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Amori. I'm from the Centurion area. My first question, I actually shared a status yesterday on my WhatsApp. And please don't take me wrong, I've got a very blended family. I've got a very colorful family. But the first question that most people asked me yesterday over WhatsApp was about the racial comments that the EFF makes towards whites, Indians, coloreds. That is one question I have. The second one is, what does the EFF do for the youth after school? So it's one thing, what is your plans from the EFF for kids in a university? So it's no point in kids doing bursaries, having to apply for loans, to pay off study loans. That's not right. We need to have a free education that is open and available to everybody. Yusuf has spoken a bit about the municipality issues. I have been involved with the orphanage in Hammanskraal, and the title deed belongs to City of Tshwane. For 10 years, I've been struggling to get that title deed transferred to Tswaraganang Orphanage. Why is things like this so difficult? So this is an orphanage that takes care of 60 kids, but because they don't have the title deed, nobody is willing to build a proper structure for them. Because they don't have a proper structure, they cannot get funding from government, so they don't get grants. So this is an ongoing issue. ANC has made promises. The mayor has been there. They've made promises, nothing has been done. But why do we as a community have to struggle so much for a simple thing like this? I don't benefit from it, but 60 other kids are going to benefit from it. But why, for 10 years, must I struggle for these kids? It is not fair. It's a simple thing as taking that title deed, transferring it to the orphanage. But right across from the orphanage, sorry, I have to block my, I have to block my swearing words. Right across from the orphanage, a shebeen can open and they get issued with a liquor license in a week. In a week. So how does the city of Tshwane allow a shebeen to open across from an orphanage with little kids? Little kids, drunk men must come to the fence and want to touch little girls. Since when is that okay? I'm so angry about this now, but I really want the EFF to help me with this, because the DA has failed me, the ANC has failed me, and I want you guys to help me with this, please. And I salute you for the things that you have done for Palestine, because nobody has the balls or the guts to do what you did for Palestine. And because of that, I'm here today. Thank you.
Last two.
My name is Hassan Balamari. I am a resident here in Laudium. I would like to, first of all, to thank the Commander-in-Chief, Dr. Lozi, and everybody else who came to grace us here. Thank you so much. I'm speaking as a human being who loves other humans as well. We appreciate the EFF for standing with the people of Palestine. Every person who loves humanity, every person who loves to see peace, loves the EFF for the commendable act that they did, marching with the Muslims and every other human being in support of the Palestinians. We commend you for that, and we really appreciate that. But as you know, that Israel is being sponsored by the West and other puppet African countries that are under the thumbs of the West. If you are in government and if you close down the embassy of Israel, I'm quite sure that you know that there are sanctions that are going to come from the West, curbing whatever businesses that will, for South Africa. What do you have, what measures do you have in place to curb the sanctions that are going to definitely come if you are in government and you are going to close the Israeli embassy? This is how powerful they are. No, they are a weak state to begin with, but they have powerful friends behind them. So what measures do you have in place just in case the sanctions are imposed in the country of South Africa? Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salute to the government in waiting. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank the EFF for blessing us with your presence here. Some years ago, if I'm not wrong, it was 2014 or so, Commander-in-Chief and your team, we went to the Israeli government embassy in Linwood on a Friday, Ramadan, repeating exactly what you have repeated, to say these guys must go home. And we fully understand the reasons why our current administration is playing games. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for clarifying certain things that otherwise, if I was not in this meeting, I wouldn't have known. The current administration is having a narrative that they are playing out. In Itireleng, in Tshwane, we have 7 regions where they play in this narrative, exactly what you have referred to. Why do we want Floyd Shivambu? No, he's going to steal the money. So the people are very suspicious. And the people are saying to us on the ground, Yusuf will tell you, we're working day in and day out. And someone talked about nutritional poverty. Here is a lady who on every Friday or so is supporting people of Itireleng food. But guess what they did? So my question to the EFF before I hand over is, one, and nobody you'll know about this. A month ago, we were part of the people who went to the city of Tshwane with service delivery. And we gave them deadlines, which they ignored. 2 weeks ago in Atteridgeville, in Mawiga, Mabopan, Winterfell, Session Group, and all that, we took a resolution that if these guys, before the 29th, don't give us what they want, they will get to know who we are. We have the power as people on the ground. But then, without going away, Firoza, you can best explain. Someone talked about youth unemployment. I would like to just take this opportunity to say. There you are.
Thank you, CIS Julius Malema, for coming to us to hear. It is 530 SASSA grant, yet our school fees monthly is 1,200 in a government school. We paid our school fees, yet our schools have no teachers, so what are we paying for? Here's a quote that I like. Don't feed us fish for a day. Instead, teach us how to fish to feed our families. Uniforms are 1,000 rand. A stable diet per month is 3,000, meaning our basics, bread, milk, maize. Yet the prisoners receive free meals, entertainment, and as well uniforms. Our ANC ward councillor, Naeem Patel, is a well-known drug addict. But he does not do anything to point out all the drug dealers that he well knows as well, that he buys from, as we all know. Yet I'm a child that I know very well. I can take you to anyone I know, a drug addict, but he himself is taking money from them, so he doesn't take them out. Our police officers, as we know, they go to all the drug dealers saying, we need choncho money. We call them all the choncho boys. They don't do their work fighting crime in white blocks. But they get paid for what? We are living here in fear of people stealing from us. Our police officers are not doing nothing. We need help coming from a child living in white blocks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Really, the issue of crime cannot be ignored. And I know people like Yusuf have been fighting this issue for quite some time, and we are happy to be part of the journey to free South Africa from gangsters and drug lords and criminals. There are too many unlicensed firearms, especially in Cape Flats and KZN. In KZN, apartheid, when it bought armaments with apartheid debt, those who were there in the 90s will tell you, trucks full of weapons, different kinds of guns, were sent to KZN to fuel black on black violence, because they thought that instability will make apartheid government survive. So they gave people the guns. That's why President Mandela said, throw the guns into the sea, and no one threw a single gun to the sea. Those guns that were taken to KZN, the Department of Defense must be able to tell us how many weapons were sent to KZN and what are the made of those weapons and who were they sent to, so that a massive raid can be conducted. Massive. That means getting into every individual's house, searching for these guns, because guns are easily accessible. In Cape Flats, it's like a daily bread where people just come to the streets, shoot at each other. Police are in cahoots with those who are extorting people and sponsoring the gangsters. The DA government give well-known gangsters tenders to get money from government so that they can buy more guns and shoot at each other. The DA government in the Western Cape even get money from these gangsters and drug lords to support the campaign of the DA in Western Cape. So these are areas that will be paying attention when we take over this government. You need a corrupt-free minister and a commissioner. Our current commissioner of police has got no idea what he's doing. By just looking at him and listening to him, it's like a man is lost. He doesn't know why he's here. And then you've got a capable policeman in KwaZulu-Natal called Mkhwanazi, the provincial commissioner of KwaZulu-Natal, being reduced to a province when we need him the most at national level, so that he can command these ones of provinces and tell them what to do. Because Mkhwanazi is not playing there in KZN. All known criminals and families that were feared in KwaZulu-Natal is dropping them one by one. When they go to catch in transit, he kills the whole thing. Kill them. There was a well-known criminal who was extorting people money in Richards Bay. The police went to kill him under Mkhwanazi's leadership in KZN in Zimbabwe because he thought he can put up a fight against police. They killed him. Well-known, highly feared. That's Mkhwanazi for you. Why they are wasting time keeping him in KZN instead of putting him national, and then he can have access to the Cape Flats? We need Mkhwanazi's approach in Cape Flats because the gangsters and gang leaders in the Cape Flats are well known. Mkhwanazi says, my strategy is very simple to fight crime. Once they say this one is a troublemaker, whether there is a case against this troublemaker or not, is already a person of interest. We deploy people to him. We'll monitor this one. And we are going to find him one day trying to do those things because he doesn't know he's being monitored. He will be dropped. So all those criminals and thugs in KZN, they now know that there is no time to play because many of them had pocketed politicians and police commissioners and all of that. When Castle Matale became Deputy Minister of Police, I just gave him one advice. Never take any bag from any of the generals in the police because they are all in the pockets of criminals. So we will fight this and will really make sure that South Africa becomes a better place. Palestine is a stand we took a long time ago. It's not a stand that we take now on elections. From its formation, the EFF has always declared to be on the side of the poor and the dejected and rejected masses of our people and the oppressed. Every rally of the EFF, starting with its public lounge in Marikana 10 years ago, every rally of the EFF has a flag of Palestine flying on top of the stage. If you go back to all the rallies of the EFF, you will never find a rally of the EFF since its formation without a Palestinian flag flying high, because we are with the people of Palestine. They told me about those rogue unit elements in the EFF who have been going around Region 4, extorting people, saying they want 30% and all of that. We are not those kind of politicians. Please, if someone comes to you with an EFF t-shirt and say, give us 30% or else we'll close this place, we're a telephone call away. Just tell them, hold on, I'm coming. You go on the site and make a telephone call. We always know where is who. We'll immediately send a person there where you are. We'll send an EFF person and then you keep them long. give them samosas and this and that. Sit here. Just keep them long until we arrive. And then once we arrive, you say, let's start the discussions because the leadership is here. They are going to leave that office one by one. Because there's no such a policy in the EFF. So we humbly plead, Yusuf and them, you've got the numbers, we've got our numbers, we've got this. Once such elements present themselves, just give a call. There will be a response in less than 30 minutes to come and deal with these criminals. Because if they are taking money from you, can you imagine what they are doing in Itirele? For sure they are selling stands there in Itirele. That if you can't come and stay here, if you don't buy a stand, criminals, in the name of the EFF. So we can't say we are fighting for land, people must get land for free. You are EFF, you go and take the land and sell it to people in the name. If those elements are known, they must be immediately suspended, and then that should be communicated publicly, especially in the affected areas, that such people have been suspended from the EFF, and if they come to claiming to be EFF members, you must know they are not EFF members. Illegal immigration, the EFF believes in one continent, one Africa. Because Africa has always been one. These borders were imposed on us by the Berlin Conference in 1885, where the superpowers met, and then they put a map of South Africa and then they allocated it to each other. Britain will take this, Italy will take this, Germany will take this, and that they were allocating Africa. Then they started putting a fence. But we're never like that. But why is there such an obsession with a fence? Because border means a fence. Why are we obsessed with a fence? Which country in the world became a developed country because it had a fence? But no, on the basis of this fence, this country was able to flourish. But if the fence is one of the things that you need for you to flourish, you all have fences at your homes and you are still poor. The fence didn't help you with anything. But our fence is actually madness. Because in Lesotho, there is no fence. In Botswana, there is no fence. Mara, there is a gate. Only a mad person can go and put a gate at his yard without a fence, and every day when you come back, you open that gate and lock it, but you don't have a fence. Those people live happily together. In Zimbabwe, Gayton Mackenzie went there trying to prove a point that, yeah, there's no fence here. He was not saying something new to us. We knew there was no fence. There's no fence. So anyone who brings drugs in South Africa or brings illegal weapons in South Africa, his nationality is not relevant, he's a criminal and must be dealt with as a criminal, not on the basis of which country he comes from. No one must bring guns into South Africa. So we're going to stop this Mozambicans and stop this Nigerians, stop this. So because they are the ones who bring drugs and guns. South Africans are going to fetch, they will leave and go there to fetch them and bring them here. Because now we say our borders are secured, they will go fetch them, come back because they are South Africans. And we will not have a problem with South Africans who are selling drugs and guns and prostitution. We have to have a problem with crime and not with nationality. A criminal Nigerian who poses threat to life of South Africans must be dropped. We don't care whether you are Nigerian or Zimbabwean or South African. You bring drugs into our country, you shall be dealt with. Our problem is resolving drugs, and we can resolve drugs by uniting the whole continent. Can you imagine, Yusuf, if there was no fence and all these restrictions, those cars that get stolen into Mozambique will with ease go and check those cars and bring them here. They are able to steal and hide in other countries because of these borders. They use the borders to commit crime. They take from us, go and hide the other side. Without a fence, police will chase you from here. When you cross the border, they follow you to that side. There is no border in Europe. No border in Europe. So why do they want borders for us and they don't want borders for themselves? There is free movement in Europe. They go anywhere. You can wake up, eat breakfast in Italy, have lunch in Germany, and then sleep in Paris without anyone asking you for a document. No one. Even you, once you get a Shanghai visa, free movement. Why? They made trade easily. They made movement of goods and people easily. They trade amongst themselves. Why can't we do that as Africans? We've got high unemployment now, including high unemployment of teachers. I was shocked that there's even unemployment of doctors. You go to school for 7 years, and then we complain at the same time in our hospitals we don't have doctors, but they are unemployed doctors. But these doctors were not supposed to march. They were supposed to just get a transport and go to the nearest country. Their skill will be welcomed in those many other countries. This obsession of wanting to stay in South Africa alone, as if South Africa is the only place with opportunities, is what denies you, South Africans, an opportunity to prosper, because they instilled in us a mind of superiority. We think we are America of Africa. That's why you can speak about, no, Africa and South Africa, as if South Africa is not Africa. Why? They benefit from this division because the unity of South Africa threatens them. Imagine if we were to do an African currency based and supported by the minerals of Africa. Dollar will be nothing compared to that. Dollar will be nothing compared to that. The pound is what it is because of its gold reserves, yet they don't have a gold mine. We alone, we are #1 platinum producer in the world. Ourselves and Zimbabwe alone, no one can touch us with platinum. The next in line who has a platinum, which takes us to 85% or so, is Russia. So why is Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Russia not coming together and determine the platinum price? A platinum price is determined by people who don't have platinum because of these divisions that we're having. Why can't we open this continent and get ESCOM to electrify the whole of Africa, and then they pay electricity to us? You deny yourself an opportunity. We can build railway lanes. We've got capacity in South Africa, from Cape to Cairo. The transport system that interconnect the whole continent, so that you guys can wake up in the morning, go and do some businesses there, and then sleep this side, come from that other side with ease. And that's how we prosper. The ANC can't be trusted, my brother. I mean, we all know that. But there are times where you need to bring your enemies closer so that you can finish them off. Because let's look at this. If the EFF and the ANC combined get a majority, and if the EFF and Moonshot DA combined, they get a majority, DA has made it very clear, we will never work with the EFF under any circumstances. Remember, we've got two devils. You must choose a better devil, but he remained a devil. Nevertheless, we're working with the ANC in Ikuruleni. They've got a mayor. We've got MMC of finance. Why? We're looking after the pest because this one can't be trusted with the money. We have two options of being a mayor and then being finance. We said, no. You and money don't go together. So, the ANC is a big elephant. For you to drop it, you have to eat it piece by piece. And that's what we're doing. When the ANC screamed and said the mayor, the minority mayor must be removed in Ikuruleni and the EFF, it was because they went to tell their leadership that the EFF is outshining us in Ikuruleni, and if you leave them in those positions, there will not be any voter left for the ANC. Because when we take over departments, we work, we don't play, and we block the corruption of the ANC. So, you know, if Ramaphosa was to say in the negotiations, the ANC says, no, Ramaphosa is our presidential candidate, he's going to be a president, and then you can give us ministers, we'll give Malema, Minister of Sports. I can't decline it. I will accept it. But I will act in such a way that you will think I'm a president of South Africa. Because Ramaphosa will never outshine me in whatever he does. Once you give us that opportunity to demonstrate our capacity, you shoot yourself on the foot. Because I will be Minister of Sports. People will be marching for water and asking for Malema to come there. Because Malema is the only one who can resolve this issue of water. But I'm in sports. And then you use that to destroy the elephant. So it's important that we all know that for you to get at your destination, it's not a straight road. Sometimes it curves, sometimes you have to take off ramps. But you must come back to your strategic objective. In life, we have to kiss even frogs for us to survive. So it's the tactics that EFF use to get to power. But it must remain clear on its strategic objective. I agree that Laudium is not only load shedding. Even if there is electricity, there is always power outages here. We have had to deal with that from 2016 when we started being in the council, and this matter is high on our agenda. Always we raise it when opportunity comes in the council. This municipality is under DA and Action SA of Tshwane. This is under Israeli apologists. Apartheid Israel apologists are the ones who are running Tshwane now. And they see Laudium the same way they see Palestine. That's why they will never care about Laudium. That's why they will never come here. The mayor has never been here. How can you not visit a place of ratepayers to go and understand. You know, these people in Laudium, they pay their rates. They are one of the best paying people of their rates. You don't go and listen to their concern. It's because you hate Muslims and you don't care about the problems of Muslims, because you are an apartheid Israeli apologist. So Action SA, Herman Mashaba, is also an apartheid Israeli apologist. Herman Mashaba says he insourced workers, security guards in Johannesburg. It's not true. We insourced security guards in Johannesburg because we said to Herman Mashaba, remember in 2016, we voted for DA to remove the ANC. And then they were supposed to pass a budget. And we said, you are going to insource the workers. In exchange, we'll vote for your budget to pass. If you don't insource the workers, we will withdraw. And this vote, with this budget, if it doesn't pass, the ANC is going to put this under administration. They had to put insourcing of the workers in their budget. If Herman Mashaba says he insourced the workers, you must say in 2016, show us the policy of the DA which you were implementing by insourcing the workers. There was no such a policy. There's never been such a policy. Just 3 weeks ago, here in Tshwane, Herman Mashaba voted against the insourcing of security guards. Here in Tshwane. A motion that was presented by the EFF, Action SA, DA, Israeli apologists, all of them came together to reject the insourcing of the workers. Really, you must ask your colleagues to listen to the EFF message. There is no racial comments that the EFF makes. The EFF makes facts known to our people. It's a reality that 80% of the land is owned by white people. 80% of the economy is owned by white people. The firms, the industries, every strategic sector of the economy is owned by white people. We want to change that. Not to the exclusion of white people. We want us to share. Let's share the wealth of our country. So those who are saying we are passing racist remarks are the people who are deliberately distorting the message, and they don't want to share in the country's wealth. If they speak about the EFF and say EFF is racist, you'll realize, you'll even think maybe the EFF said it's going to drive them to the sea. The EFF said it's going to kill white people. Go into the archives of the EFF everywhere. You will never find such a statement. We hate racists and we hate them passionately, and we make no apology about that. We must never embrace racists. And including our Indian brothers and sisters, there's no any comment by the EFF that suggests we don't want Indians. We always say to them when we meet Indians, you are better than us. Where you have an opportunity to help, do so nicely and properly, and we can't pay wages that are not living wages. We need to care about the well-being of our people. So the reason we are here in Laudium was to demonstrate to everyone who says we don't want Indians that we actually exist everywhere. In the colored communities, in the Indian communities, in the white communities, in the African communities. We are the only organization that exists everywhere. And we hate no one. And that's why anyone who extolled the Indian business people, that person is offending us. Because they never ask 50%, 30% from Pick and Pay. They never ask 30% from Woolworths. If I bring Woolworths here, even if I'm black, I bring a franchise of Woolworths, They're just going to see words and conclude it's a white man. They will never come there and ask for 30%. So when they ask for 30% from our people, it's really disturbing because our people are trying to make end means. Then you go and sabotage what these people are doing. We need, in the EFF, we adopted, when we were speaking about orphanage, I was even thinking about this. We've got 9, if not 10, orphanages that we look after as the EFF, 1 in each province, that we look after every month to change the conditions of our people. In one of the orphanages that we look after, in Northwest, we said they must take the kids, because the kids were going to school in the township there, and then they were always being insulted by their peers that you are an orphanage, you don't have a mother, you're staying in an orphanage place, blah, blah. We took them. We said, let's find the best schools in town. Take these kids there and pay for their school fees, transport, everything. Because that work you are doing is very close to our heart. So we do that work ourselves. And this matter you raised, Obagin says council is sitting on Thursday, and they will be raising this matter in the council sharply on Wednesday. But it's not a matter that needs a noise only Obagin. I think it needs a thorough, detailed follow-up so that we know where is this thing stuck, in which office is this thing stuck, so that we deal with this person who's unable to help an orphanage. If you can't help an orphanage, what about us? Because those are the people who must be helped before us. And I really appreciate the work you are doing, giving our people in Iturileng food parcels and all of that. Let's continue to do that beautiful work. The sanctions will come on the racism against Indians. One day I'm sitting in the office there. Some Indian fellow calls me. No, I think from Indian embassy or something. He says the EFF has sponsored a motion in Johannesburg Council for Gandhi Square to be renamed Winnie Mandela. We immediately, without thinking twice, told those people to withdraw that motion. Because Gandhi and Winnie can coexist in one place. Our office is Winnie Madikizela Mandela House at Gandhi Square. What's wrong with that? You want to give Winnie Mandela a name? Go and change William Nicole and call it Winnie Mandela, not Gandhi Square. And that's how we changed William Nicole, and it's now called Winnie Mandela. So if we had a hatred for Indians, we would have demonstrated it through one of the heroes of Indian communities. Why should there be school fees in the first place? Education must be free. Why should kids buy uniform? We must give them free uniform, books, and give them meals at school. Don't give children uniform, children who are going to school, but they give prisoners uniform for free. Can we see the level of madness we are subjected to? Prisoners get uniform, and it looks like they buy it every day or something because their uniform is always in good condition. Okay, you want free uniform, commit crime, you'll get it in prison. And worse, in prison, there is food. People are given food, breakfast, lunch, supper. And beds, blankets. But our children don't have beds. Don't have beds. The prisoners have got a flushing toilet, prisoners. Itireleng has got no flushing toilet. The prisoner has got a light. Itireleng does not have lights. So what do you call that? No water. The prisoner has got water. A rapist has got water and electricity. So something must be fixed there. And we are going to fix that. We're not scared of sanctions, my brother. We've got BRICS. In BRICS, we are trying to create alternative markets and economies. Let them come for sanctions against us. But we will not stop standing on the side of humanity because of scaremongering of sanctions. The world is evolving now. If there is something they say they will no longer buy from us, we'll sell it to other people. If they say to us they will no longer sell us the German machines, that will be good. We must produce our own cars and then sell to the continent and the world. Maybe it's time they do that so that we can see the importance of trading amongst ourselves as Africans. The market is there. Why South Africa doesn't have a car today, I don't know why. We say manufacturing has collapsed in South Africa. There are no jobs in South Africa, but we don't produce toothpick. After eating, everybody needs a toothpick. It's not being produced here. Comes from China. We don't produce plate, paper plate, plastic plate. That plastic plate we eat in, we don't produce it here. The chairs you are sitting on, we don't produce them. But these chairs are produced through a byproduct that comes out of that fuel thing at Sasol. I forgot the name of the byproduct. That byproduct, they take it from Sasol here, take it to China to produce these plastic chairs. Anything plastic is produced by that byproduct from Sasol. The Tupperware, if you take a Tupperware thing from a woman, you will not even hey. They are not saying bring back my scarf tin, but bring back the Tupperware. Imagine we can build that here and revive manufacturing industry of South Africa. And not only for here. Remember, we've got Africa. We produce here for ourselves and we sell to the continent. The people of Africa love South Africa. And any product from South Africa, they will support it. So, we must make sure that facilities are available for young people to be engaged. You know, the youth is very active by their nature. That's why they are called youth. If you don't harness that energy and give it direction, then it's going to go into drugs, into committing crime, because there is no activity. The problem is that parents are no longer allowing their children out to go and play because of crime. That my child might be murdered, might be kidnapped. So we must make South Africa safe so that our children can go and play outside, because we know it is safer outside. So let's talk about these youth activities programs that you guys have and see if we can join together to make sure that we channel in a safer way the energy of young people. Thank you very much, and thank you for coming. I'm going to Riege Park in Ikuruleni. But it was important that we come here to Laudium and interact with our people directly. And I hope that you'll spread the message out there and encourage many others to vote for the EFF. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President. We want to thank you, the Commander-in-Chief, the residents of Laudium, the residents of Itireleng, and stakeholders, Yusuf, and all the stakeholders who've contributed to this program. We want to appreciate, and we promise that we will execute and follow up on matters that were raised. We saw potential young people who will want to join the organization. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Julius